what God unites, man should not divide. My dear friends, the Lord is deciding our lives. Lord is connecting our lives. And it's all by Him. First reading beautifully says, do not grumble against one another, brothers, so that you may not be judged. Behold, the judge is standing at the door. As an example of suffering and patience, brothers, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. Behold, we consider those beloved who remain steadfast. You have heard of this steadfastness of Jacob. You have seen the purpose of the Lord, how the Lord is compassionate and merciful. But above all, my brothers, do not swear, either by heaven or earth, or by one other's oath, by any other oath. But let your yes be yes, and your no be no, so that you may not fall under condemnation. So you cannot waver. You have to be firm in your decision. That's exactly why the Lord is taking you through difficulties, to test you, to check you. That's exactly how Job was tested. And then purpose of the Lord. It's very clear. When Satan wanted to attack, Lord had a plan with Job. So every pain will gain you something. The suffering that you go through now will get you at your reward what the Lord has prepared for you. So it's important that you understand your calling. We find Jesus coming to reign of Judea and Jordan, and crowds gathered to him again and again. He was his custom. Again, as was his custom, he taught them. And Pharisees came up and ordered to test him, asked, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife? My dear friends, for them marriage is not that important. I mean, divorcing is very cheap. It's very common. For a minute reason, during Moses' time, even for minute reason, you can just divorce your wife, because it's a male-dominant society. Even your curry is not tasty, you can divorce your wife. So in that context, Moses had to get them to a certain level of discipline, where to say you cannot divorce until you write it in a certificate of divorce. So he brought this to a particular discipline. But then that's in order to discipline the culture. But the Lord is saying that's not the truth. Moses has said that because of your hardness of your hearts. And that's exactly why divorce, what God has united, man must not divide. And that's exactly because of your hardness of heart, he wrote you this commandment. But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. My dear friends, so male and female, there is a craving for each other. There is something missing which you can find in the other person. That's how he uses the emptiness, vacuum, to take you for the purpose. So that's why he created Adam and saw Adam should not be alone. So he missed something. So in that hollow, in that missing point, God will stir you up to take you in that journey. That's how you meet your spouse, meet your partner. So you will be attracted. You will have, but then it's a firm decision. It's yes or no. If it is yes, that's yes. If it is no, it should be no. You cannot waver between them. So that's why he created male and female. So he consecrated the marriage between man and woman. That's exactly how the Lord is saying you cannot separate. Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. My dear friends, those time father-son relationship was very strong, and family matters the most. The most closest bond we found in the family. So when you leave your father and mother, and it's a big issue, my dear friends, we shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So one flesh theory, you become one, because he created Eve from Adam, from man. They were one at the very beginning, and that one person is separated as man and woman. My dear friends, now it's spiritually again they are united. It's a marriages are done in heaven, we call. So it's a very precious kind of union. You have to think about it. You have to take it very seriously. You cannot separate what God has united. The word says, therefore man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. And they are no longer two, but one flesh. That's how God unites them. So that's why we call better half. And in that calling, of course we have to go through struggle, go through terrible calamities, terrible pain. The first reading never assures you a life without struggle. The Lord is saying, as an example of suffering and patience, brothers, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. Behold, we consider those blessed who remain steadfast. You have heard of the steadfastness of Jacob, and you have seen the purpose of the Lord. How Job was tested. How Job was tested. So that's in the same way, you cannot divide, separate, divorce. There is no divorce in the Catholic Church. So rather, so one can ask, why so much of pain and suffering? That is to test you. So even in marriage, you can go through crises, terrible blunders, yet painful experience of rejections, betrayal, unfaithfulness. But then you cannot separate, divorce your wife or husband, because God has united this. You might not see the value of your bond, marital bond, right there. It might take time. God will always have a plan. And the Lord is saying, whoever divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery against her. And if she divorces her husband and marries another, she commits adultery. My dear friends, imagine husband, wife, they are made one because of the Lord. But the Lord has united. Man must not divide. So the moment you are you are connected by the Lord, you cannot separate and live with another person. That bond is broken, and it's a sacrilege. That's exactly why we call it's adultery. So think about it. Think about your life, the way the Lord has called you, and think about all your relationships. Think about them. Amen. May God bless you.